What's cracking, big doges?
Doges.
Welcome back to another episode of Fade the Public, where we fade y'all on your most popular takes. We are back in the contaminated dungeon. Since your man's just personally wrapped up his positional rankings on the channel, if you've missed any of them, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, you can go check them out.
Kicker.
Ain't too hard. Just fucking, no, we definitely didn't rank kickers. We don't respect kickers. We don't acknowledge kickers. The only kicker we do acknowledge is Kareem Hunt. We're going to move on to our top 25 positional rankings overall today. Top 25 2019 fantasy football rankings. I got to keep repeating this because I just learned recently that the YouTube algorithm actually tracks the words that you say, ranks it against your SEO and your keywords. So we're going to keep saying things like 2019 fantasy football rankings, 2019 fantasy football, shit like that.
I'm happy that we're doing the 2019 fantasy football rankings.
I'm so happy that we're doing 2019 fantasy football
2019
rankings.
fantasy football rankings.
Yeah, we might even get into, you know what we might talk about today? 2019 fantasy football sleepers.
Ooh.
Rankings. We were going to do a 2019 fantasy football mock draft, but we already did that, and we wanted to switch things up.
What about some 2019 fantasy football dynasty advice?
That I would love to do some 2019 fantasy football dynasty advice. But you know what? Let's get into some actual content. Here's what
2019 fantasy football rankings.
Content.
Yes.
Advice season. Hashtag. What we did was we each made our rankings. Top 25, half PPR, one quarterback. We love Superflex, but for the masses, for the public, so we honestly should have done
it for the people.
We should have done the
faded them,
Superflex.
yeah. We're so contradicting ourselves right now.
We each made our top 25, and we have a chart. We took the consensus of our three rankings, and we're just kind of go down the list and tell you where we have each guy and see where the biggest discrepancies are between us.
We're going to get into it.
Yeah, we're going to get gritty. We're going to get nasty, and we are going to talk about 2019 fantasy football rankings.
I'm definitely cursing snacks off.
Hit the music, white boy.
Suck my dick.
Whatever you have, I'm disagreeing with it. That's it. Even if I have it on mine.
You think I'm a drunk?
Yeah, I do.
You're the only one drinking.
For sure.
A long day.
You come in, every time you've been to my house so far, you've had a bottle of something. Usually wine.
I'm Italian.
Sometimes it's tears.
When Iz gets drunk, he starts crying about the Giants. He's legitimately crying.
It's bad, bro.
You're fucking pathetic. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, he's actually crying.
The pussy.
That's only when I'm drinking.
But you're always drinking. I only cry when I'm drinking. I only drink when I cry.
Listen. I'm an open book, okay, for the whole world to read.
You don't even know how to read, and you're going to say you're an open book?
What do you mean I can't read? I can't do math. I could absolutely read.
Or if you know how
I
to
can't
read,
do
then who's
math.
the first name up on this list?
Saquon Barkley.
Correct. Wow. Okay, you do know how to read. So, well, for instance, I mean, the number one only has a little stick, so you have to know what that means.
And it's also because he's the best.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, you actually didn't need to know how to read to know Saquon was number one on this list. Me and Snacks both had him at one, Animal at two. So you are the ungrateful child.
Yes.
What's wrong with Barkley at two? Is it a problem with Barkley at two, or is it?
No, it's more of just the team around him. And listen, his rookie year was amazing. And I don't know, I haven't seen enough yet. It's only one season.
You haven't seen enough yet.
He could take
his
a
highlight
decline.
tape is the greatest highlight tape I've ever seen already.
Sophomore slump. Sophomore slump.
God.
We don't know what's going to happen with Eli with that
He's a
line.
fucking running back, not a quarterback.
There's too much. How many runs did he have that were over 40 yards that were breakout runs that don't happen all the time?
Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
He had 7 of them, but those are no longer called 40-plus yard runs. Those are called Saquon Barkley runs.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because
And those are going to be the standard for him now, right? He's just going to do that all the time?
He's the gold standard.
I
of it,
guarantee
yes.
you he'll have like 10 or 11 of them next year.
He'll
10 or
easily have
11.
more.
Yeah.
Wow.
He stays healthy. He's gonna like literally.
He's going to do that once a game probably.
Minimum.
Remember AP when he came back in like 2015?
Insane.
When he had that like, he was doing that like from like 80 yards out, like every game. He was
Right.
busting one of those out. Or like Chris Johnson back in the day. I want to see how many.
But Saquon's
Very
not just
rare.
running it. He's also getting the ball in the open field, catching passes
Yes.
and doing the same thing. So I don't understand how you're gonna not put him number 1.
Okay, so at the 101, you're up in a draft right now. You're going with
Zeke.
our consensus number 2. I have him at 2. Snacks has him at 3. I feel like that might be out of spite, but we'll get to that in a second. He is Animals' number 1 overall player. So is it more of like you don't trust Barkley, you said the situation, or is it just because you love Zeke so much?
No, I don't even like Zeke that much. I just like compared to, he had a great year this year, but he has so much more upside. He only had 6 rushing touchdowns. That's not a common year for him.
So much more upside.
So much more.
He has so much more upside than Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
We're gonna let him. We're gonna let him
Are
keep.
y'all
We're gonna let him
hearing
keep talking.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying he has so much
Please
more
do. Please
upside
do.
Bring it,
than,
Pike.
than Barkley is upside for himself compared to this last season.
You're saying more likely to build on the previous season.
Yes, I don't think that was his ceiling. Versus, I
yeah.
think Saquon is closer to his ceiling with his numbers that he produced this season.
Yeah, but Saquon's more likely to repeat that ceiling.
Yeah, and I think
Not more likely, but he is likely to repeat.
and
that
I think
ceiling.
Zeke
If
is
not,
likely to
improve on
match
it.
it or go further.
Well, Zeke is definitely going to match his, if not go better, but that still doesn't mean that he's better than Saquon in my eyes. He's our consensus number 2 overall player, so neither of us hate him right
Yeah,
now.
it's not like I'm like putting Saquon at 7. He's my number 2.
No, I completely understand.
know?
I just don't see where your logic kind of
I
plays
think
in. But I get it.
The Cowboys' offense is better. They're going to be scoring more
But
often. They're going to
is
be
Snacks,
going further.
Do you get it?
Yeah. Do you get it?
Do you get it?
Yeah. All we're doing here is
get it?
really just talk about 2019 fantasy football rankings. Like that's all we're trying to do here, right, guys?
I
Yeah,
mean, the
that's-
only
that's
reason
what
I
I'm
came
doing.
over to the Contaminated Dungeon tonight was talk about 2019 fantasy football rankings. Maybe a 2019 fantasy football sleeper. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too fast. They can't pick me up.
There's no way they picked up your word. Okay, so we all like Zeke. I mean, he finally built on the passing game, which was a problem for him, right? That was why no one ever wanted to take him at like the
Yeah, he was
101.
just a straight up runner.
Because he didn't catch balls like the Barkleys did, or the Gurleys, the David Johnsons at the time when they were the 101 picks. But Zeke, I think we can all agree. I mean, their offense at worst should be a good offense, and they have room to be a great offense if their offensive line can stay healthy this year. They have Amari Cooper who spreads things out. If they can add another piece, either at the slot or a legitimate tight end weapon, I mean, the offense could be very spread out for Zeke, and he hasn't really had that in a while.
And that line's going to be back. Like
He's
you
off-
mentioned. Travis Frederick's coming back, apparently. So
What? Really? I thought he was dead.
No, he's not dead. He's 98% healthy.
That's really dumb if he comes back. I honestly, not even as a Giants fan hating the Cowboys, he just shouldn't come back.
But for his personal health, is that why?
Do you know something? Are we Dr. Snacks over here?
Yeah.
Fuck do I care about Travis
I spent
Frederick's
2 years
health?
in medical school before I dropped out.
Don't believe a fucking
Yeah,
word
it's
he
such
just
a
said.
lie.
That was the biggest lie I ever
Not
heard.
big facts.
Fucking fake facts.
Okay. All right. You know what? Whatever. I worry about Zeke's weight issue. That's my biggest concern.
Getting a
with him.
little tubby.
He's getting tubby.
It gets me a little annoyed when he wears the cutoff fucking jersey because
There's
he's
nothing
not
to
ripped
see.
enough.
Like
Yeah.
that's like if Saquon does it, it's
Saquon
gonna
can
look
do it.
real
There are
good.
like 4 guys in the league that could do it.
Right.
AB could do it too.
And DK when he gets into the league will be able
DK.
to. Too, so.
yeah, DK. Yeah, that's actually the DK cutoff.
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna call that from now on. But yeah, Zeke's getting a little tubby. That's a concern of yours.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you actually concerned about like the weight, or are you concerned that that's a bigger picture issue that he like can't control himself?
Off the
It's
field
a bigger thing.
demeanor.
Yeah. He's had off the field issues. Clearly he's getting a little chubby. Clearly he's had more workload than anybody in 3 years. Sorry, bigger picture. Maybe he breaks down a little bit. I don't know. Still got him in the top 3.
Do you think he's more likely to match that receiving total he had from last year, or go back down to his normal 35,
I think
40
he's
catches?
more down normal.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I think the whole offense
That's
changes.
my only concern with him is that everyone's going to get really high because they see that, and I'm not
77 receptions.
I'm
last
not
year.
sure. Like that's a ridiculously high number. Like that would have been really high. This happened to be a year that was like historically high for.
Yeah,
running
this
back.
was out of place for him. I don't
Right.
think that's him as a back.
Yeah. So who knows though? But I mean, the offense got better when they were using him and Cooper and getting those high number of
Right.
targets. So they could continue to do that. They have Kellen Moore now as their OC.
Yeah.
He has no fucking like experience.
Yeah, it
being
makes
a
me
Jason
feel
coordinator.
Garrett's
but-
calling the plays. Let's not
Yeah,
not forget
that is true. So I mean, in my eyes, I feel like I don't really see a lot of question marks. I see a very high floor, but probably not the ceiling that a lot of people think is there.
I couldn't agree more. That is my sentiment exactly.
All right, so let's move on to
disagree.
number 3. C-Mac is our consensus. I have him at 3. Animals got him at 4. Snacks has him at 2. If you're playing in any sort of PPR league, there is no
PPR, he's got to be up there.
There's no risk. If you're playing in a standard league, I still think he doesn't drop past pick 5.
No.
No,
I think that's the lowest. You know,
he's still top 5, but PPR, he's gonna catch 100 balls again. Like,
yeah, half PPR is what we normally play him. It's the only league that we really acknowledge over here at FTP.
if anybody doesn't play PPR, you should just stop playing fantasy football.
Yeah, people who do standard are weird.
People that do standard are they're all over the age. If you did a consensus demographic poll, anyone that still plays an only standard has to be like 58 or older.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
They just didn't know that new.
Which, you know what?
New scoring
They
format.
don't want to adapt. They don't want to adapt.
if they're, I don't mind. A lot
I
of
don't
people
mind
still
either.
listen to Mike Francesa. They can't adapt, but
They're ridiculous.
I always
Anyone who
forget
listens to
we're
radio.
not just a New York-based place. They probably have no idea who he is.
No.
Everybody
Probably
knows
not.
Francesa.
Hey, regarding the Jeter injury, he's got to get an MRI.
He already had one.
Yeah, but Mike, listen, what he's got to do, get the MRI, whether he goes on the DL or not, you got to give him some of your Diet Coke. That's the elixir, you know what I'm saying, Mike?
Oh, God.
Okay, you think the Broncos should sign Giambi as the backup quarterback?
This is a year of expectation for the Mets.
Right.
I mean, it's been very well discussed about the Wilcox financial troubles dating back to perhaps the Madoff thing and the expense of the stadium. And I'm just wondering if they get out slow out the gate and attendance is down, do you think it's possible that Citi Field might get struck by some Jewish lightning? I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you.
He waited for 2 hours to make that call.
I don't give a
You'd
shit
be
about
surprised.
Francesa. Okay, so let's talk C-Mac. Broke the record for receptions for a running back last year. Got all the goal line carries, 95% of snaps, 95% of touches
He's
in
that
that
offense.
backfield.
He's that
I think the
offense.
only concern here, of course, is Cam Newton. All right, second major shoulder surgery in a couple of years. Last year, they obviously rushed him back in, and that was a huge problem. Like, he came into the year with a hurt shoulder. He wasn't throwing at all.
Yeah, you can
when the
never
season
get
started
right
up.
if the season starts and you're still hurt.
Just a
You
bad
can't get
move by
right.
their front office on
Yeah.
that one. Just a bad move overall. But supposedly this surgery that's coming up this spring, or that he just had, I don't know if they had it yet, but it's supposed to be a little less serious than the one he had previously. Plus, he has a lot more time to recover.
Yeah, exactly. He's
I don't
got a
know
lot
if we're
of
going to
time.
get the same Cam that we've had throwing-wise, but that doesn't really matter to me, to be honest with you. I don't need someone...
Dump off passes is all you need.
Exactly. I don't need someone who has touch on 50-yard, 70-yard bombs down the field for C-Mac. So, C-Mac's 3. Anything else to add on C-Mac? Why you would or wouldn't like him above these other guys?
I love everything about him.
Yeah, I adore him. So.
Okay, so Snacks adores him apparently.
I don't adore him. It's a little weird, but I
Well,
like
wait
everything
till we
about
get to
him.
my
I
number.
like his game.
Wait till we get to my number 24, because then I can really start talking about adore.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to number 4. Number 4, a guy we do not adore. He moved down our rankings pretty drastically within the last couple of weeks, within the last month or so. It's Todd Gurley. I have him at 4. Animal has him at 3. Snacks at 4. Consensus 4. Gurley, obviously with the news. I mean, the big conversation here is just we don't know what the fuck happened with him.
Yeah,
because they're just
it's
denying
still a
it.
mystery.
Still that big
It's
question
still
mark
a
next to
mystery.
him.
And that's going to eat at him all.
So why the drop off at the end of the season?
Why the drop off? If he was hurt, great, but we're never going to know that because they played it down so hard to the point where, like, if they do say something, if it rumors that he has a surgery, going to lose a pick or something, going to get fined. So never going to know. I think it makes it risky just because they saw how replaceable he was, and maybe they're like, you know what, we want to bring someone else in. We'll have to see what happens in the free agency. We want to bring someone else in to
take some of
lighten
his carries away.
Yeah, lighten his workload. That's a very real possibility. They might lose Whitworth to retirement. They might lose Roger Saffold just via free agency. The line could be a little worse. Who knows, man? Gurley, I think is a little risky there. But if the linemen come back, I mean, he's still definitely a consensus.
Is there I've been thinking about this. Obviously, his production the last 2 years, you have to put him top 4. But like we were just saying, something was clearly off. Is there any chance he literally deep dives into an oblivion and just
He does T-Rich.
falls off the face of the earth?
T-Richie Rich?
Yeah.
I
don't think so because I think he's that good.
He's shown enough of a sample size to tell you that he's actually good.
Yeah.
running
Right.
back.
And I think he doesn't care. He's not one of those players he got paid, he's going to stop. He was literally diving at the 1 yard line,
he's
not scoring. So listen, we won. I don't care.
He'll go as far as his team goes.
Exactly. He's on a good enough team where
So, if
he has to produce.
Right.
That team's trying to win a
I think
championship.
that Rams team is going to take a
Me too.
Big
I think they're in for a
dive
pretty
off.
big dive this year.
Yep. And they're
as
going to
well.
have to sign Goff soon. That team is
The thing with
they better win real quick.
The thing with Gurley is like he's like Bell, like how we discussed on last week's episode, how Bell doesn't break those 40-yard runs and things like that. Like Gurley doesn't do that either.
No.
He has those huge holes in the line. So like if you're taking a guy who's banged up, who can't really explode, that's
It's like put him behind the Giants' offensive line. He's not even doing remotely close to what Saquon Barkley's doing.
and that's what, exactly. So that's what it's going to come down to. How good is the team?
Yeah.
If the team is not the best scoring offense in the NFL, which they have been the last 2 years, I know KC was number 1 in points per game, but top elite. If they're not an elite scoring offense, like how good is Todd Gurley really going to be?
Exactly.
So that factors into his ranking at 4 right now. But of course, there's a lot to unfold there before.
We need to learn a lot more.
Draft
he could
season
easily be
comes
falling
around.
down next week, 2 weeks, whenever we do this again. So
Let's wrap up the next two guys together because we all had Alvin Kamara at 5 and we all had Melvin Gordon at 6. So Kamara is someone who's just proven now back-to-back years. He's just very good.
He can do it all.
Yeah.
Catches, runs, hits the holes.
That's the best part about it is like his reception floor is so he's 80 receptions, 81 receptions back-to-back years. This Breeze offense
He'll
that's
be
just
there.
the style of this offense is just keep Breeze upright, short passes, quick passes. That's run the ball, that's it. So
And Kamara's he's used a lot out of the backfield as a receiver.
I like that.
I mean, that's for fantasy nowadays. That's everything in PPR leagues. So
I
love Kamara.
Do you like him more or less if Ingram is gone?
Depends on if they bring someone else. I think he needs
kinda
to
like him
have
less.
someone else there to take some of that load off because
he's not that bell cow 3 day. Like
But they know that.
he can do it.
tell
I just
by
don't
how
know
they
if
use
he
him.
can do it like durably.
if they lose
like,
him, what about CJ
durability?
Anderson?
I love CJ Anderson.
What if J.J. Does
J.J.
J.J. crack your top 10 if he goes to the Rams? I mean the Saints.
No.
Do you think the Saints should
Top
work out a
30,
trade
we'll
for
start
Derrick
talking.
Henry?
You think what?
The Saints should work out a trade for Derrick Henry?
Gotta
No.
do it.
I don't think Derrick Henry should be sitting behind someone.
Yo!
Anytime you can trade for a guy who doesn't know how to catch a ball, you got to do it.
Derrick Henry's a 3-down starter. Bell cow back.
When has he ever proven to be able to play on the third down?
I think he did it for 2 games this year.
I don't think he caught
No, he
more
didn't.
than a ball in any game.
He doesn't need to catch balls. He just hand it to him and he runs everyone over.
You're going to do that on third
That's
and-
what you want, yeah.
You're going to do it on 3rd and 9?
Yep.
Okay.
Run over 4 guys, 10 yards.
Okay. So why Alvin Kamara over Melvin Gordon? Bring some fucking heat. Bring some fire.
It's adrenaline. I'm ready for this.
I don't see it in you tonight, FTP. Where the fuck are we at?
We're
Yeah.
just doing the 2019 fantasy football ranking.
It's just very difficult to make sensical words appear out of my mouth when I'm sitting to his right, he's sitting to my right. He's worried about Barkley's sophomore slump based on nothing.
I'm worried about his sophomore slump. You are a true fucking asshole for saying that.
Just wait. See what happens.
See what happens.
See what happens.
Okay, Kamara Gordon, give me something. Give the people some fucking value.
For me, I look at it like this. Drew Brees over Phillip Rivers, Saints over Chargers. I go by the team, and I think that the Saints are going to go further. They're going to produce more. They're going to have more of a scoring offense, more opportunity for Kamara to score. And Gordon always gets banged up. He's always hurt for at least 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
Reasonable.
that's one thing
it.
he is. He always is. I learned that
He's
the
great.
hard way this year.
He's great when he's on the field, but
I think he's better than Kamara when he's on the field.
Yeah, but you
points
can
per
always
game
count on
wise,
him
he's
for-
elite.
Yeah, he's
but he's
elite.
missed multiple weeks in 3
So
of the 4 years.
when you draft him, you have to think, okay, when is he missing at least 2 games?
Yeah, and the
When
problem
is he
with that,
missing 3?
people underestimate the game before those 3 he missed because he probably went down early in the game. And then when you come back, you get a lighter workload as well.
Yeah.
That first game back.
Exactly.
So if
So
they're
yeah.
missing 3 games, you're really kind of fucking you for 5.
So I'm banking on a touchdown at the goal line, pretty much.
Exactly. So that's what makes me nervous about Gordon. But when he's in, he's elite and doesn't look like they're going anywhere else in that backfield.
Yeah.
So we have Kamara, we have Gordon. That rounds out the top 6. And I feel like that's pretty much going to be the consensus. Those 6 guys are going to be
in
the
different
top
orders,
6
but yeah,
in
same.
almost every draft. When it gets to 7, this is where it's going to get tricky. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of Davante Adams. Our consensus 7 is DeAndre Hopkins.
That is
but you
the
can see he's got a
consensus,
little
yes.
bit of a jump from the number 6 spot in where Melvin Gordon is. I have him at 8. Animal has him at 8. Snacks has him at 7. Yeah, he's my number 1 wide receiver off the board. But like I still like just don't like taking wide receivers this early.
I don't either, and I'm with you on that, and I was hesitant. I actually have a run of wide receivers here,
Me too.
but like they're just so good, I can't DeAndre Hopkins is going to catch 120 balls again. You know what you're going to get week in, week out.
I know.
It's just so hard to put I
mean, in the first round, I feel like you're
Mixon
looking
over
for
him. I'm not sold on him. We'll get to that. I'm
the
not
number
putting
one guy on the
Connor
team.
over him.
Yeah.
whether it's the running back or the wide receiver, whoever's the main guy on that team that's getting the ball the most, trying to score the most touchdowns.
All right, so let's reroute this question. Let's go with this. Our consensus goes like this: D-Hop, Davante Adams, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas. Those are the next 5 off the board for our consensus, not necessarily like all our personal rankings, but
yes,
those are the consensus. Do you see a tier gap anywhere in those 5? Do you see, like, for me personally, I think I would put D-Hop in a tier by himself at 1. I think I would stick Adams, Julio, and Tyreek in a tier by themselves.
You wouldn't put Adams with Hop?
No. The more I think about it, I just think Green Bay had absolutely. I mean, I love Adams, and Rodgers obviously loves Adams, but they had nothing. He had no one else to throw to. Literally no one else to throw to. Didn't have a wide receiver too.
Yeah, but you could say the same for Hopkins.
We had Will Fuller.
He had Fuller or QT for all the time.
They were hurt most of the year.
But we've also seen this play from Hopkins, this target level from Hopkins.
But I mean,
for like
he's
4
always
years.
been, he's the guy. Like, that's it. In Houston, who do you want?
But they're not adding anyone.
Who's
else.
the first guy you would take off the Texans team? If you had the whole roster in front of you, you draft one guy.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
What's the argument there?
Changes for other teams.
What do you mean?
Cowboys. Who's the number one guy you would want?
Zeke.
Giants.
Barkley.
Okay, those are running backs. You wouldn't want the Houston running back. You don't want Lamar Miller. You want the number one guy on each team that's scoring the most touchdowns for that team.
Correct.
So you want Hopkins. Who do you want from the Packers?
I want Adams.
Yeah.
We're not saying anything bad about Adam. It's a tier
I'm saying
thing.
the top tier guy on each team.
No,
Who's
I think I'm with Nick. I think Hopkins is in a tier of his own.
What I'm basically saying is Adams more likely to hit that same number that he had last year? Because he had a fuckload of targets, a lot of targets, or is he more likely to get 15 less targets if they add a secondary piece that's solid? If they add John Brown, he's much more likely to come down. Whereas no matter what the fuck you do on the Texans, DeAndre Hopkins is getting the same number of targets, receptions, touchdowns.
Everything. Completely agree. I think Adams goes down a little bit. Dude, the guy didn't have one game under like 12 points. It's just
exactly. He's
it's
my wide receiver.
unfathomable.
He's my wide receiver too, but I see it
easily.
tier break.
I agree. There's tier 1, and it's DeAndre Hopkins. After that, then you go down.
How do you have the other 4 in tiers? Do you have them all just in the same tier?
Well, no, I have Davante, Julio, and Hill in
tier. That's the same
in
thing
that
I had.
tier. Yeah,
Okay.
and then I would start, and then I would go Michael Thomas, Juju, and
AB,
and OBJ probably right there. That's like tier 1, 2, and 3.
So we had the wide receivers there. The next consensus guy on our list, which was a very varied ranking, was Joe Mixon. The reason that he got onto this list so high as a number, I think he's the 12th player.
Yeah, 11.12.
I have him as my 7th ranked player, and it's solely because I don't want to take a wide receiver in the first. Like, when I do my rankings, the way I look at it is like, okay, I'm on the clock right now. Who am I taking off the draft board? It's not like, who do I think you guys should take? Like, who's the smart pick? It's like, if I'm on the clock, who am I taking at 7 or 8 or whatever? I had Joe Mixon there. The more I think about it, the more I like him. I look at this offense under fucking extra medium Marvin. The last couple of years, they've ran. I was looking at the numbers, dude. This offense, it couldn't have been worse. They were bottom 3 in the NFL in total plays, like total offensive plays, time of possession per drive, yards per drive, points per drive. Like the worst offense you can get. So I'm not saying this new guy, Zach Taylor, probably not going to be that good, but I'm not saying.
Well, he knows Sean McVay. So.
He does. So that means literally who knows what the fuck's going to happen.
You're not concerned at all about his low targets?
I am a little bit concerned about that, but here's what we have, right? We have Gio, a free agent. We have the guy fucking Mark Walton, who's been arrested the last couple months more times than like fucking Ted Bundy. So who knows what the fuck's going on in the backfield?
Beast. Yeah, Bengals are.
I think like
criminals.
I wasn't so worried about Mixon's receptions as I was just the team overall getting the ball to the running back.
That's why I have him so low on mine.
Right, but I think there's only up to go for the plays. Like there's you couldn't get worse than Marvin Lewis. Like what I was saying, bottom 3 in offensive plays, time of possession, yards.
It can only go up.
I'm looking at Mixon as this year the David Johnson.
Really?
That's how I see him. Because
such an anemic offense.
That team, I just have no idea what the Bengals are going to be.
I don't think so. He doesn't have Mike McCoy.
They weren't good. I don't think they're going to get much better. If not, I think they're going to get worse.
But he was okay. He was good last year, and it was a terrible offense.
He finished running back 9.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you
You
I think
draft him
they're
like the
gonna-
third
were
round.
I think
basically
they're gonna
able to
go
draft
down.
him like how you're going to be able to draft David Johnson this year, and then like how people might project David Johnson for a bounce back this year is the same way that you're going to be drafting Joe Mixon pretty much.
Right.
Same situation. I
I
guess.
see. For me, it's I don't want to say it's a personal thing. The eye test. I don't know what it is. Why I don't love him.
Yeah.
He doesn't stand off to me. I got him here at 12, and the consensus was what?
The 12.
12,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. So I had 7. He had 12, and Animal had him at 16.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally get the arguments here, and I knew this was going to be a kind of an outlier pick.
It is.
But it's more like I just really
You just want a running back over a wide receiver.
I just want an elite, not an elite in the sense, I guess, but like a workhorse running back.
So you're gonna take Mixon over like a Davante, a Julio?
Yeah, I mean, in a real draft, it's possible that I'd probably take Hopkins there at 7, but I would probably take Mixon.
I know
thing
rankings
is, like,
is
you can
different
go.
than a draft. I
the
know.
thing is, I can get Mixon and then also get one of those 5
Right.
wide receivers
Of
in a
course.
tier on the back end, and I'd rather not start my draft off with 2 wide receivers.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because once you get out of the first round or 2, running backs
running
are
backs
shot.
are- yeah.
They're all very risky.
You need to stack up on him quick.
Exactly. So I don't see. You're right. Mixon might not be as explosive and like as awesome as some of the top guys, but I think his floor is still pretty high.
No,
You know what I mean?
floor is a great thing. You're not going to be disappointed with the floor you get.
We'll have to see
as
what
long as he stays healthy. He's
what
been
else they
banged
do
up
in
too.
that. What else they do in that backfield too? Because
Yeah.
like I said, Gio's a free agent, and Walton keeps getting. It's second time in a couple of months that he's gotten.
I'm
hurt.
intrigued though. That's a new system that might take a few
Yeah,
weeks
that's why
to gel.
it took a few steps back.
We'll
for
see.
me.
Yeah,
So
need
I have
to do
no
something with
idea
their
what's gonna
offensive
happen
line
with them.
too. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes here.
It's a sieve.
It's a fucking sieve. So
It's a sieve.
after Joe Mixon at 12, Juju. We actually were pretty close on consensus here. He was 13. I had him at 12. You had him at 13. I think he's going to be a very highly debated player this offseason. I see people.
I'm worried, but I'm not.
I tweeted out, I felt like, honestly, when I got your rankings, I felt like you didn't want to put him there, but you did because you just felt like you should have.
Yeah, well, it's mainly because of the whole Antonio Brown thing. Like, if he stays, does it hurt Juju? If he leaves, does it hurt Juju?
So
Does
what
it
do you
help him? Like,
how do you figure that situation?
I'm going with my gut and thinking that AB's not going to be there. And
He's not,
Juju's
but I'm
gonna
saying,
be-
what does that mean for Juju's? You're 100% saying him and they sat down. Remember we were talking about Steelers ownership?
Yeah,
they sat down
said they had a
yesterday.
good
They're
meeting.
done. They're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. AB's not going to be
Anybody
on.
else kind
Kind of what?
I have a feeling like there's a slim chance that he is with the Steelers. What if they don't get blown away with an offer? I know I'm like interrupting this here, but like,
Oh, you're talking about
No,
Antonio
this is
Brown?
good. I like
yeah,
this.
I mean, but
Wait,
like,
what are you
think
saying?
about it. Like, he's all smiles and stuff with Rooney.
Yeah, they still
Clearly, the problem is with Ben
have
and
to make a
Tomlin. I
trade.
understand that. Is there any way Rooney brings him in, just like, listen, let's shut the fuck up and let's play football?
Oh, you think he might still end up on the Steelers?
Yeah. And what if they don't get what they
just
want for him?
But they just had the meeting.
I understand that.
What he's saying is they still have to make a trade.
They still
I get it.
have to
still
make a
need
trade.
to
He's
get an
not free,
offer that
like-
they like. They're not just like, oh, 4th round pick, sure,
He's
take him.
still
We're
top
getting rid of
2
him.
receiver in football. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trading him for a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
When Amari Cooper just got
A first,
Oakland a 1st round pick.
Yeah.
Like, it starts at a 1st and a 3rd minimum, and that might even be selling low.
Yeah, I don't think they might not get something like that.
But that's
for
what
them.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, is it maybe just worth it keeping him on the team?
I just don't
We'll
think
see.
they can.
I don't either. I don't
They
either.
might be forced. They might
burned-
might just be forced.
Well, that's what I mean. Force probably.
If
but
that happens,
he's
you don't-
burned way too many bridges.
You don't
There's
want
no-
that. He might do what fucking Le'Veon Bell did. And just
Yeah.
fucking sit out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got his money. Le'Veon didn't. So,
Can you do that? You can't get a guaranteed and then just sit out.
well, he would be fine.
Well, I'm sure there's something in his contract that
Contract.
says he'll have to
It would probably be
pay
voided.
back, or he won't get.
would
He's
be
not gonna
voided.
get the game
Yeah.
checks or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah. There's no way. You would have to play.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So
I'm sorry. I was just thinking that to myself today.
No, it's
on my commute
possible.
home.
All right, so AB likely to be off the Steelers. This makes me so intrigued by Juju. He excels at every asset of the game. AB was the 2nd highest targeted wide receiver in the NFL last year. Juju was 4th. If AB leaves,
In the same offense.
how many targets is Juju going to get?
200?
next year?
Also,
300?
my concerns, why I was a little nervous, is how many double teams he's going to see. How often is he going to be?
We say that about.
if he's the number 1 guy now.
but he's
will
that
there
good.
be a
Like,
drop-off?
he's not a scrub. Like,
No,
we
I
say
know,
that-
but it doesn't matter when you got 2 bodies on you.
But Juju also doesn't like. Okay, when it comes to double teams, first of all, I think that's an overused phrase for analysis on wide receivers. No one lines up at the line with 2 guys on them.
Right.
No,
you
I
get
know
a safety
that.
over the top.
Yeah.
There's not many players
Who
that
says you have to go over the top every
right.
route?
Like Deshaun Jackson is the only guy that really helps stop. You know what I mean? Like Juju doesn't run fly routes. That's not his game. He runs over the middle. He finds soft spots in the zone.
Yeah, they
he runs
run
a lot
digs, they run drags.
He runs a lot of routes from the slot too, which is you're not really getting man coverage in the middle.
But probably
is
see
that
more
only
slot
because
action, too,
AB's
with
on the
AB now.
outside? That's what I'm saying. There's so many like questions that still. Listen, I love him, but I'm a little nervous. I'm a little hesitant.
I don't think you should be.
I'm not at all.
Okay.
I would
So we had 166 targets last year. Over under 170.
over.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say 176 and a half.
Over. He'll
Yeah,
definitely surpass
over.
10 reception or 10 targets.
Yeah.
With AB gone.
Yeah,
for sure.
I
But I'm
can't
just
see how
that
he
number is
wouldn't.
crazy.
That's an
so
insane
high.
amount.
Yeah.
But they throw the ball. Some games they're throwing the ball 50 times a game.
I know. Roethlisberger led the league in pass attempts last year.
He don't worry me at all.
he
I would
doesn't worry me
run
at
to the
all.
podium and take Juju.
Same. I'm like thinking about moving him up to. I have him. I'm the only one I think that has him ranked above. I have him ranked above Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
And he's really, really close.
I thought about that too.
He's really close to being in the Tyreek Hill category, but I'm not going to put him
Just
up to
in
Hill.
that too, yeah.
Yeah, he's like very close to that hill from that peak for me. But some people I see in my I tweeted something out yesterday like who are people trying to avoid this year, 2019 fantasy football, and so a couple of people wrote Juju.
Then they're idiots.
Well, they're thinking probably the same thing I was thinking with AB gone. Will he?
Those
will
are the
he
people.
struggle?
Those are the people I'm fading.
How many times do you see that affect a player, an elite player?
Like, do I have an actual example for you? No.
I just think like that's an analysis that people use, but I don't know if that's ever came to fruition. Like good players just make things happen.
No, I agree. And Juju's
he's
a great player.
player.
Yeah. That's why I still have him. What did I have him at?
13.
13. Yeah. So
You reluctantly put him there.
Yeah, that was a fake 13.
no,
That was a fraud 13.
nah, not really.
The first thing you said about him was, I'm worried.
I am. I'm still worried.
You shouldn't be.
But I put him there out of respect and the fact that I know he's a baller.
You should be more worried about Davante Adams being the wide receiver 2 in Green Bay next year.
Not at all.
That's fake news. That's not going to happen.
Unless AB gets traded.
So
back.
next player on the list is our first tight end off the board, Travis Kelce at 14.
Easy. What
The
more needs to
positional
be said?
advantage is just too high, and he's just tethered to the best offense in the league. He is also very durable at a position where low key is very hard for a player to stay healthy.
Right.
Right? You have a lot of the top guys over the last few years banged up. Like Ertz has been consistent, but he's also missed multiple games a few times in his career.
We don't have to get into Gronk.
Yeah, Gronk's done. I mean,
Yeah, I mean the tight end position. You sometimes are on the line blocking, so I mean you're not always running
You need a lot
routes.
of,
They're
like-
in the trenches.
Yeah, you're getting.
You need to
hit.
be durable.
Yeah, exactly. And,
No, I
and
like
Kelsey's
that.
played in 79 of the last 80 games, so it's like
he's-
you're not only getting the most talented in the best fucking offense who produces at the highest level, but he's also durable. Like, what more do you need?
He's
there?
Mr. Reliable.
You know, I love it. I love everything about Kelce.
You know what you're gonna get.
Other than that, he's a chief, but
Yeah. So
that's a different story.
I
Why
was
do you
saying
care
this
about that?
yesterday.
You were picking the Chargers to win, like,
Get
playoff
over
games.
that. I picked him to win a playoff game. I didn't say I'm going to go to their games and be a fan. I didn't buy a fucking jersey. Did you see me in a Chargers jersey?
Move on.
Love that. Love the fire at an animal. Most emotional I've seen you get since you were 12.
Fucking calling out my fandom.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so I'm fine taking Kelce in the second round. I had never really wanted to do that with a tight end before, but like I was saying yesterday, my strategy in basically any draft this year, I will come away in the first 3 rounds with a tight end. I might fade that just if I get high enough with O.J. Howard to the point where I'm okay fading those 3. And
He's
I love
he's
O.J.
that
Howard.
cheater right there.
yeah, he's
Do I want to buy in all the way?
Yeah. So I don't know if I want to fade these guys because that's a big risk, fading any
It's
of
a
the
huge
top
risk.
tight ends.
Huge.
And banking on one of the middle guys
Yep.
to break out because you're going to be at a big loss in that position. So, yeah, I mean, we all love Kelce. Everyone loves fucking Kelce. Don't be nervous to take him in the second round.
No, please
I
don't.
wouldn't be surprised if we honestly ended up seeing him go in the first in 12-team leagues, pick 10, 11, 12.
see that.
People are definitely going to start doing
can
that.
see that.
I wouldn't personally do it.
I wouldn't either.
No.
But they're going to talk
depends. When
themselves
you have-
into, I have the best tight end, and I have a positional
I can see it
value
happening.
upgrade over anybody.
In like keeper leagues where some guys have like 2 or 3 keepers and
Oh,
Not
yeah,
as
that's a
many
different
guys,
story. Like
definitely in
Dynasty
the first
League.
round,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dynasty League, I picked Travis Kelce in my Dynasty League. He was the first tight end off the board last year. I was super fucking happy to get him. I got him pretty early. I think I picked maybe 21 or something. Something I definitely wouldn't have done in redraft league last year. But Dynasty, I locked him up for the next 3 or 4 years as the top tight end pretty much. Next on the list, we have James Conner, who actually tied in the consensus ADP or rankings with Kelce. Let's go with both of these guys, James Conner and Nick Chubb. So I have Chubb 15, Conner 16, Animal, you have Connor as higher than anyone else at 11 and 14. Chubb at 14, Connor at 11. Snacks, you're a little lower on both of these guys. You have Connor at 16. You have Chubb all the way down to 21, the lowest of us. So I'm assuming the Chubb thing is just purely about Hunt.
Literally, that's it. There's nothing more to it.
You're just literally just putting in a little bit of a little risk twinge in there.
A little risk twinge, and maybe I'm kind of like reverse jinxing myself because I'm going to be keeping Chubb in like the 12th round, and I really want him to be amazing.
I was going to say, like, I feel like that was
an RJ.
Total RJ.
I didn't want to have to say that out loud, but like that's part of it. But yes, that Kareem Hunt thing scares me.
Hey, Snacks, I will ligma you all fucking day. I will make you say what you don't want to say. I will fucking ligma the.
That's why you're the best in the business, man.
Goddamn right I am. Let's fucking go. 21, Nick Chubb.
I hate admitting that too.
Yeah, I think. Hang. All right, so yeah, I mean, I like Chubb more than I like Connor. Why do you like Connor more than Chubb?
Kareem Hunt thing. That was it. I originally had Chubb very high in my rankings, but this whole Kareem Hunt
thing changes if Kareem Hunt like doesn't play this year.
It's just the mystery behind it. I don't know what's going to happen with Kareem Hunt. How many games he's suspended for, and when he comes back, how are they going to use him? Does Chubb take a back seat?
No,
there's no way.
Absolutely not.
Maybe he's banged up. Maybe there's too many question marks. My brain is scrambled.
All right, Kareem Hunt gets a year suspension.
Which I think is more than likely.
Where do you put him in the overall rankings?
Top 10.
Yeah.
Top 12.
Chubb would move into. I would likely take Chubb maybe in that Mixon spot where I had him.
I'd take him over Hopkins.
Yeah, I'd probably. Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would be number.
Oh well, for you,
that'd
be
number 7.
Right, for you,
yeah. That'd be number 7 for you.
I'm looking at my list.
So that's number 7 basically.
Yeah,
right after
he would be ranked 7 for me.
Yeah,
I'd have him at 9.
Okay, so that's probably around right. I think. I think Connor has a lot more risk than Chubb for me.
That end of the year really just threw me off.
Didn't do it for me.
No, it threw me off.
You would really take Connor at the 11th spot in drafts this year? You're not worried? I feel like there's a lot of red flags there.
I mean, I'd take Julio over him, but I mean, in my rankings right now, I have Connor above him just because I like the running backs better. I'd like to have a running back heavy team in the first couple of rounds versus the wide receivers.
You would take James Conner over Joe Mixon?
Right now, yeah.
Really? I see so many red flags for Connor.
So do I.
One, I see that team just plummeting a little bit, like I've talked about on this podcast.
That's a team candidate for free fall.
Well, you got red flags for Connor, but none for Juju.
No, because he's
going to get all these. He's going to get 180 targets.
I'm worried that Connor's not the workhorse there.
Right.
He might be
when
the first.
The two down. They showed that Samuel and the.
Well, I think that's just a system that any running back can thrive in.
Exactly, but I'm worried that they just turn Connor into a 2-down bruiser. I know you love Derrick Henry, and that's probably why you love James Conner. But
he had 71 targets.
Yeah,
55 receptions. Not like a lot, but
right. And I'm saying I don't know if they do that again with him next year.
They have other weapons in the bag. He's not, and those last few weeks of the year really scared me off.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Jalen Samuels was the guy that they used on passing downs next year. So
I am with
that's why if James Conner is not a 3-down workhorse, and think about it too. Like remember when I was talking about that stat where Conner had like 17 goal line carries, whereas Bell hadn't had that number in the 3 years combined.
Yeah,
if their offense isn't that good, Connor's not getting those easy rushing scores that that made him such a good fantasy player. You know, so I just think like. I think James Conner could be this year's David Johnson in terms of fantasy production.
I could see it.
That's
like
a good call.
Finishing as like an RB2, but like never really being that good for you.
Never living up to where you draft him.
Right. So I think Conner is a huge mistake in the first round waiting to happen. But yeah, I mean, if he falls to around the 15, 16, I think the upside kind of flirts with the downside when it comes to Conner. But I mean, I like both backs. I would definitely take Chubb over Conner though, even without knowing what's going on with Hunt. Then we have consensus Antonio Brown, and we'll talk about more with him when he lands somewhere.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is another guy that's scattered. I have him at 18, Animal at 23, Snacks at 15. We all know he's super talented. The concerns are kind of an injury thing, I guess, if you want to. I'm assuming you like him at 15 because of the coaching.
Yes.
What's going on there?
What I saw the last few weeks, Mike Zimmer finally got what he wanted. He's going to get what he wants next year too, and that's going to be feed Dalvin Cook. I am putting him at 15 because the talent is there, but like you said, there's the injury concern. He stays healthy. Oh, got it. 15. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I couldn't love it anymore if I tried.
Yeah, he's the one guy on this list.
But that is a huge if.
Yeah.
That's 2 years of injury questions.
If I'm looking at outside of like those top tier guys, the top 6 guys that we drafted, and I'm looking at every other running back on this list, If you told me all of them stayed healthy for the full year, Joe Mixon, James Conner, Chubb, Cook, Bell, DJ, Sony, all these guys that we have later on in the rankings, everyone outside of the top 6, all stayed healthy for a year, Dalvin Cook finishes the highest by far.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Dude,
I'm very high on him.
he caught 40 of 49 balls.
Yeah, he's a great receiver out of the backfield.
He missed games.
He played 11 games, and I don't even know how many of those games he played the full game.
Right.
Exactly. And that was like what I'm saying is like if they miss certain games, you always got to make sure you realize what happened in the sandwich games on the top and on the bottom of them, right? Because you don't want to factor that into your analysis when it's not real. So Cook is the guy that's like, it's as simple as this. If he stays healthy, wherever you draft him in fantasy football is going to be a value.
Yes.
That's it.
I will say it. I will go on record now. I am very high on Dalvin Cook.
I think for sure that he's definitely going to outproduce wherever you draft him for that value.
Yeah. It's just it all comes down to staying healthy. He's a guy that I will draft in 1 or 2 leagues, but I won't draft in all of them.
No, I'm not going to have all my shares in Dalvin Cook.
So he's a guy like Connor is risky for other reasons. Like health is maybe a little bit of a risk, but I have concerns.
Question mark.
Yeah, I have concerns about Connor's 3-down workload. Like there's no doubt that Cook's going to be that guy. So I like Cook. The next guy is another intriguing one, Odell. How the mighty have fallen in fantasy. I have him at 21, Animal 19, Snack 17, our consensus 19 overall ranking.
Yeah, I see you doing the catch. All right, yep.
Talk to me about I kind of want to go on record here and say that if OBJ gets traded to San Fran, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, OBJ will move up to my wide receiver 2, I think.
Wow. 2.
He's going to move up to my wide receiver 2. I don't know why. I get this feeling in my gut with OBJ if he's on San Fran that he's going to fucking explode. But he's probably not going to be on San Fran. He's going to be on New York.
He's not going to be traded.
He's going to have Eli throwing the ball.
Oh.
He has a lot of injury concerns from
people don't realize that.
People don't.
He's missed 4+ games in every year but one.
Yep. Every year.
Every year but one.
His first season, he
missed the first
4
games.
games.
Have you ever heard of the site Sports Injury Predictor?
I haven't, no.
There's this site that just specializes in predicting injuries, like how many games, percentage chances and stuff. And I was like super skeptical. I was like, this is dumb. But like it's very good historically.
It's on the point.
Really good. And it factors in a bunch of different things like the length of the injuries and where exactly they occurred and like how long ago, whatever, all this shit. And OBJ is projected to miss like 7.5 games this year on Sports Injury Predictor. Yeah. And obviously, that could be completely wrong. He might play the full 16, but that makes me scared.
Well, because he all his injuries it's been from the waist down.
Yeah, he's got
right. They're not like fluke injuries. You know what I mean? It's like cracking his ankle, hamstrings.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, dude, like strengthen up.
And then every Giants fan's like, oh my God, it's a travesty if you trade him.
Why do you want my guy to go to New England? They have enough. They have enough. You're not taking our Ferrari.
Why? What if you got a plethora of picks when the Giants have 430 holes on their team?
I agree.
No, it's not crazy to trade
a
receiver that makes quarterback money. What wide receiver on the Patriots and the Rams were making quarterback money?
Yeah, no one.
Like, you don't need that to win championships, to win games. You don't need that.
A big theme of my draft strategy in 2019 is definitely just going to be ultimately to fade guys that are just not durable. Right. I just don't want them to be on my team.
We've all learned the hard way.
The easy analysis is just to say, Odell's a top 3 fantasy wide receiver when he's on the field, but like you have to understand how big
of on the field that much.
Right. How big of a risk that really is. So Odell, of course, the upside is there, but the risk is factored into his 19 ranking.
Besides the injuries, just the fact that Saquon's there and they're a run first team now.
Yeah.
They're not trying to air it out to Odell every play.
He still put up great numbers. Even.
Yeah, he will be great if he stays healthy. No doubt in my mind.
Like he could take a 2-yard slant and go to the house on day. But
yep, he's literally the
talent
Dalvin
is
Cook.
there, but it's
the
just
same analysis we put. Like if you chose every wide receiver, they stayed healthy all year. Odell is finishing the highest of all of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So Mike Evans, 20.
Love him.
We all have him at 20.
Do we?
Love him.
We all have him at 20.
Oh yeah, look at that.
What the fuck, dude?
What happened?
I just got a call from my own phone.
Shit,
I'm getting a call from my own phone right
Hacked.
now. Bro.
Oh my God, answer
Bro.
it.
Woo!
I'm scared.
Answer it. Let's see if this is a serial killer thing.
Your account has been temporarily locked due to virtual activities. In order to unlock it, we will need you to submit the following information.
Social Security, credit
Is that
card.
the public calling you?
Are you the public?
Are you the public? Fade them, Nick. Fade them.
Chandra, what you need,
Sounds
baby?
like a scam.
This sounds legit to me. Who you got at number 20 this year? They hung up.
Honestly, that shit's weird as hell. Though. I get all these like callers.
I get
all
so
day.
many random calls.
It's getting to the point where I'm freaked out.
I'm fucking pissed.
Like my brother got hacked by China and said like, "Are you using your phone in China?" Like,
really?
He couldn't get in.
Fucking lit.
I'm gonna get a Razor.
Oh, the phone?
Yeah, like
you're talking about like
the old
Motorola.
I'm gonna get a Razor. Yeah.
Those things were the fucking goat. I love the Razor.
You remember when that
Honestly,
came out? It was
ever.
like the coolest
Best phone ever. Never had a problem.
All of those phones when we were in like 6th to 8th grade
Incredible.
were the goats.
The Nokia.
Nokia was the goat. You could play
Best phone
Snake
ever
on that
was Snake.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude, kids,
Snake.
if kids like that are like 17 now understood what entertained us at that time, holy shit.
They would
Like,
call
we
us
probably
crazy.
think we're like cavemen.
And that makes me feel old because we're
Derrick,
young.
Derrick
We're young.
Henry back then would have been the most entertaining
Derrick Henry.
thing of all time.
That
to
is
watch
such a
on
good
TV.
point, though. They have no idea. Like, honestly, I was a big BlackBerry guy. That was like in high
I had a
school. late
BlackBerry.
high
Yeah, I had
school.
BB too. Yeah, BB
Like,
was fun.
Brick Breaker, nobody could beat it.
Brick Break?
Like, when you beat it, you felt so accomplished.
Oh, there we go.
Let me feel it.
Dude, it feels
Oh,
nice.
man. I miss this shit.
It's weird,
Me
right? But
too.
it feels cool.
I
Bro,
wish
should we
social
bring-
media had hit 2 or 3 years earlier, so we could have taken advantage of it, like our junior, senior years. Of high
Yeah,
school,
like
though.
I was using
Oh, dude, we
Twitter on the
missed it.
BlackBerry
We
when
just
like
missed
me
it.
and Brandon.
but
and
not
stuff were-
everybody was
No,
though. You
no.
know what I mean? Like it wasn't as
So it
fun
was
as
like
it is
not
now.
fun.
Yeah,
Dan,
I wish we had gotten
should we?
that.
Since I brought turtlenecks back, should we bring
didn't.
Blackberries back?
Dude, they keep trying. They keep trying all these weird.
Yeah,
little
they make like
niche,
touchscreen Blackberries
marketing
and shit.
things.
Never
Yeah,
works.
I'm like BlackBerry. Just take a seat,
Can I
bro.
keep this?
No, I have a lot of cool stuff on there.
When is the last time that
I
thing
had
had
that,
turned on?
This is from college, so I got like all my college pictures.
Oh, you got your nudes and shit.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff
You
on
ever heard
here.
of what's that thing? A cloud.
Bro,
I got
you
all
ever
my
hear of
pictures on here.
getting hacked? Come on.
No, bro.
You hear the
I get calls
fappening?
from
Oh
myself.
fuck!
Remember
I
the
should delete-
fappening?
I should
That's,
delete some
that was an
pics.
iCloud hack.
I should definitely delete some pics.
You have a bunch of your own nudes on there?
Yeah, well, no, it's on a secret file, a password protected folder in my computer.
They ain't hacking you, dog.
So nobody's getting that. You can't get this shit.
Animal. No one wants your shit.
They're not mine.
They're never gonna know your Derrick Henry password.
It's not like a
Don't
bunch of
worry.
pictures.
They'll never get it.
D Henry.
22 goat.
Less
Henry go.
D
Less sign
less
3.
Than sign 3. Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Mike
Sorry.
Evans, how you doing? All right, so
Mike
big
Evans.
ass year last year, career year in many facets. Now he's got Bruce Arians coming in, who's used the aerial style. I also don't want people to like use that as such an analysis point because Dirk Cutter was also an aerial style offense. He had Todd Monk in there as an OC. Like
Right.
both offenses that he was playing in last year and that he's playing in this year,
It's gonna be similar.
very similar.
My biggest concern with Mike Evans is I feel like Jameis doesn't throw him the ball enough.
You know what? I was nervous about that too, but when I looked at the splits on the Road of His Game Splits app, they were negligible.
It just seems like whenever
it did.
he
just started
with
off so hot last
Fitzpatrick,
year. Yeah.
He was like, oh, look, there's Evans. There's Evans. I'll throw it to Evans.
What you gotta like, dude, the Bucks offense is gonna be they're gonna have a very interesting offseason because one, they just signed Andre Ellington. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking all in.
savior.
Yeah. No. So they have nothing in the backfield right now.
I heard that they're gonna make a push for Lev Bell.
Lev Bell, I would like that. But in terms of passing weapons, right? So Cameron Brate got that big contract last year, but he's guaranteed no more money. So they can cut him before, I think it was like March, whatever.
Yeah,
save
OJ's
$7
the
million.
guy there now for
So
that.
Cameron Brate could be cut. Deshaun Jackson is likely leaving.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's a free agent. They might bring him back just because you'd want to play with Bruce Arians, but probably not. He went on the record, said he wants to play with the Rams, whatever. You also have Adam Humphries, your boy.
He's a free
He's
agent.
very good.
Done.
Right, so they don't have a lot of weapons there anymore. Evans is going to go back to that target total. What? Talking about the Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin.
I love Chris Godwin. Anytime you can combine
About
God
weapons,
and win
bro, that
in the
guy's
same
weapon
fucking
of
name.
mass destruction.
Yeah, but I'm saying it opens up more targets for Evans.
No, I agree.
And Evans is like low-key a deep target too. And a lot of the targets that went to Djax on deep balls will probably just go to Evans.
They should be going to Evans.
Evans is a silent assassin.
He's fast,
Think
he's
about it.
tall, he's got good
He's
hands.
fun to watch. He's
He
fun to
is.
watch.
He is.
He is fun. He's a master of his craft. So yeah, I like him at 20. I think that's right about where he goes. I think he gives you a good floor, a good ceiling. I think he sees an increased target boost. Like the years before Deshaun Jackson came, he was seeing 160, 170 targets.
Yeah,
right?
it was insane.
It's going to be close to the league.
You're not
again.
going to be mad about the production you get from Mike Evans.
No, I love Mike Evans.
No. So Mike Evans, our consensus 20. I won't be mad if you take him a little earlier. Our consensus 21 is Lev Bell. 22, 18, 22. It's a mystery wherever he ends up. Like we talked about on last week's episode, we went down the free agency preview, and like it can go anywhere from early early second to
third.
fucking non-draftable.
Yeah.
I forget what team. Miami was undraftable.
Well, yeah, we have to wait and see where he goes.
How amazing would that be if Miami just offers him truckle and he goes, "Yeah, this is all I want." He goes there and literally.
He would actually. I mean, he loves Miami probably. So that's interesting.
No state tax, right?
JJ did pretty well there.
Please stop talking about JJ.
So Lev Bell is our consensus. 21.
There's not much to talk about Lev Bell just because.
Yeah, we'll talk about him when he signs somewhere.
We gotta wait till exactly.
Next up, David Johnson. I actually surprisingly have him highest. 19. Animal, you're at 21. Snacks, you rounded out. You're 25 with David Johnson.
Correct.
I mean, we saw his floor this year, right? And he finished as RB10.
Yeah.
It was miserable
for owners.
So it's like, I don't know. You're getting a pretty high floor. Fuck you for looking at me like that. You're getting a pretty high floor. They have Cliff Kingsbury coming in, so the offense is going to be, I'm not saying he's going to be great, but it's going to be at least more pass heavy, which is playing more towards his strength as a receiver from the backfield. I like David Johnson to improve a little bit. I in no way think he's going to get back to that elite status that he was a couple years ago.
I mean, that
he's kind of old already. He's like 27, 28.
Yeah, like sneaky 27.
Yeah, he's pretty old. So, I mean, David Johnson, like I said, we saw his floor, and I think it can only go up from last year, but I don't think it will hit that high. Like, where are you guys at?
Yeah, I mean, I have him at 25 for a reason. I think the new system will bring some life into it. Year 2.
Well, they said they were going to give it to him a lot, so I'm going to believe him for now.
I don't ever listen to a word coaches say.
That's an unbelievable piece of analysis.
Believe in him for now.
I don't believe a word any coach says ever.
No, literally.
I've been burned way too many times by believing.
If you literally
coaches.
just fade the coach speak, you'll probably be good.
Maybe we should just name this Fade the Coaches.
I like that.
But no, I mean, I like David. Like we said, that's his floor, which, I mean, last year his floor was
like
awful.
1,300 yards.
The talent's there. It's
yeah,
just the team. You need what's going to happen with the line and how are they going to use it?
They need to fix that.
I think that's the first and foremost thing.
If
If they end up getting a few pieces on that line, I will be higher on David Johnson because he's in a similar situation to like Gurley the year that he dropped off and was terrible team. Everyone kind of doubted it, and was like, no way he can bounce back. Some sharp people took Gurley in that second, third round, and it won them their league. So
it worked out.
David Johnson, you never know.
This Cliff Kingsbury thing though is it's so rogue to me. Like
it's very weird.
It's very weird.
I kind of like it though, dude. I'm telling you, I like,
especially in today's NFL. Yeah, I completely agree. Like that's the offense people want and everything. But I could see that falling on its face year 1 if they don't fix that line. Because I'm not sold on Josh Rosen yet. I mean, none of us are. I don't think.
I like Rosen.
I like him. I just don't think he was given a good opportunity at all.
He was probably my favorite quarterback coming out of the draft last year. But seeing what I saw last year, probably to no fault of his own, they need to fix that line.
It's a line. That's it. That's what it comes down to. If they don't address the line, I will stay completely away from Arizona.
I wouldn't touch anybody there.
Yeah.
There are certain guys that I just don't want to go near because of their team is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
You learn the lesson. Mm-hmm. So we will go to a commercial break.
Hey, I flex on a bitch like I just got a check like haters gonna hate like till they see me in the face and they all like saw your baby mama like and then I sent her home with a good night bars in his hands like good night and we drinking Yoo-hoo like it's dirty Sprite. Yeah.
Next up on the list we have George Kittle. Consensus 22. I have him at 23. Animal 24. Snacks at 19. We all love little kitty litter action over here. I mean, he set the record all-time receiving yards in a single season by a tight end with Nick Mullins. Great first name. Gotta love the first.
Got it this time.
Got him. Let's go. Third time's a charm. Love that. Jimmy G's coming back now. AB signs with San Fran. What's your Kittle take on this?
We disagree a little bit, but for me, I like it because I think that middle of the field where the tight ends operate, where he operates, is going to be even more open than it already was last year.
They're just different targets, I guess.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
when I was
his target share is going down, obviously, but
he's still going to get very quality. I mean, he had 5
better looks, maybe.
Better looks. The offense is going to be better, more down by the end zone. That was the problem. Is they didn't have a lot of volume down by the end zone last year. Why he ended up with 5 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. If you boost him up to 8 or 10, he's far outperforming Zach Ertz, and he'll arguably be up there with Kelce. So it's gonna be interesting. I think. I mean, he's so young. In a few years, he could be rivaling Gronk's prime years, statistics wise. So
he's scary good.
Kittle's an exciting player. Someone that I'm definitely trying to own in multiple leagues.
The positional value too.
Exactly. So he's another guy that you take and you're like, it's tight end, but this year, he's one of those three that you need to have.
Need him.
Gotta have him. One guy you don't need or have to have. Next up on this list is Adam Scumbag Thielen.
I'm gonna stand up for this one out of respect.
Didn't crack my top 25. Animal at 22. Snacks at 24. Consensus 25. Here's my problem with Thielen is the second half of the year, like that Vikings team, and he was like wide receiver 26 or 27 or something like that over the second half. And you're also sold on Dalvin Cook being a beast because they're going to run the ball so much with Zimmer and whatever. So, like, why Thielen?
Because
why Thielen?
One, there's a lot of factors that played into his second half collapse. His wife Caitlin was pregnant with her second kid. Their second kid. Congratulations, by the way. I know you guys just had him. Caitlin, I've been tweeting you a lot to try and get you guys on the podcast. I've been asking for your husband, but I would love to have you on too. Congratulations. But yeah, that was on his mind. He had some nagging injuries. However, it's inexcusable. But he's Kirk Cousins' number one option. We know what his floor is. It's 100 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's minimum. You know what you're going to get. I don't think the second half of the year was a precursor for next year on what is going to be a down year. I don't. I just think he's that good, and Kirk Cousins loves him. But yeah, it's concerning.
What's his ceiling next year?
The roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
I didn't even mean to set you up there. What is realistically fantasy ceiling? It's not how we started off last year.
No, it's not. It's probably somewhere in between. It's like it's a more productive second half. I mean, he was putting up if he continued his first half pace, it's historical.
Cousins pressure, hit as he throws, going for Thielen. He's got it. With a first and goal, Ajayi puts it on the ground. This one is to Thielen. What a throw and catch. And in the open field, Adam Thielen.
May and Buster screen all out in the secondary. They're looking for the big one. And it is a touchdown. 3rd and 5. Wow, somehow, some way that is caught by Adam Thielen.
They can see if they can communicate.
Here comes the blitz, and Cousins gets it away into double average, and reaching for it and somehow making the catch is Adam Thielen. Takes the pin, Cousins rolling. Chased by Matthews, firing, going to be a first down and more, and Thielen, can he get in? Yes, touchdown.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's historical, and he didn't finish historical, but he finished with great numbers. I would say, like...
Actually, I want to pull up his final numbers.
Yeah, pull him up. I would say middle...
155 targets, 113 receptions, 1,373 yards, 9 touchdowns.
I think he could go 115, 1,400, 12, 13 touchdowns, that's a pretty good...
You think I don't think he comes near the 12 or 13 touchdown mark.
No.
That's my problem.
He just had 11.
Yeah, but that was without
in a year where he just started off going nuts.
Right, and in a year he scored like 2 in the last 8 games.
And I think
he also scored 1 each game for the first 8 games.
That's why I think he's closer to that second half.
Yeah.
Not player, but the second half touchdown production.
Okay, fair.
Which is why I have T.Y. Hilton's my next wide receiver off the board. I have him above Thielen. And if you're looking at 100 catches, 1,400 yards, and 7 to 8 touchdowns, I think Hilton is definitely a better bet to have more yards than Thielen next year.
Yeah.
Thielen,
I also worry about.
What do you worry about with Hilton? Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about injuries and stuff. He gets banged up.
Yeah. I never really thought about him as an injury.
Really?
I played 14 games last year.
I always think that he's missing a game or 2 here and there.
He's tough, though.
Whereas Adam doesn't.
He plays. You know what the big thing? He plays through
it. No, 100%. He's tough as nails. That's not what I'm saying.
It's always a concern because you're like, how much is he going to play today? How many snaps is he going to get?
He's missing.
He played 14 this year.
14, dude. What? He played 14 last year. 2017, 16 games. 2016, 16 games. 2015, 16 games. 2014,
he plays
15,
through his injuries.
16, 15.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't say he misses games or he's injury prone, but he's definitely banged up a lot.
He only had 76 receptions.
And he's right, and I think those injuries play a part in that.
I'm looking at Sports Injury Predictor right now. Let's see. Projected games missed for 2019, 0.7. High durability rate.
Right. Okay, that's good. Check Thielen's out.
My biggest worry with Hilton is that Andrew Luck spreads the ball around a lot. I know he's still the main guy there, but Andrew Luck will throw it to a third string running back he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Whoever's
but
open,
you made the argument with Adams being the number 1 in an offense. Mm-hmm. Hilton is that guy too.
Yes, but yeah, I can
Thielen's
see what you're
is
saying.
Projected 0.4 games missed next year.
Durable.
He's a durable guy.
Yeah, so I like Hilton's one of those guys that if they add another weapon on the outside, like a legit weapon on the outside, whether it's through free agency or the draft.
You mean not Chester Rogers?
Guy's legit. I apologize, Chester. If they add an additional weapon, I will get nervous about Hilton because I feel like a lot of his production he is a good player, but I think it's almost,
I love T.Y.
I think his wide receiver 1 type target volume is a product of being the only weapon on the outside.
Right.
So if they get another player, first round wide receiver, second round wide receiver, or they trade for someone studly, then I will easily pull the reins back on Hilton. But as far as I'm concerned, my analysis is just like, don't think too hard about it. He is the best weapon in an Andrew Luck offense.
Yep.
They have a great line, so he's going to have time to drop back and air it up to T.Y., you know?
T.Y. will have time to get open.
Exactly.
Luck, like you said, is going to have time to throw it. No, you can't go wrong. He's a beast.
So I like Hilton there.
I apologize, T.Y. I thought you missed a little bit more games. I know you're literally always on the injury report. I'm not wrong there.
No, you're right. He plays through his injuries.
I didn't even think that he was really on the injury report.
Oh, no, he's definitely been on the
last
injury
year.
This year he was. Yeah, I mean, last year, I knew that, but the previous years, I never thought of him as an injury concern guy. It was just
the problem was
always injured.
Andrew Luck was hurt, so he didn't have that.
So it just seemed like he was like in and out of fantasy lineups. You know, he's kind of had a bad break with his career because if he's had Luck for the while, we'd really know like what we had in Hilton.
Yeah, exactly. That last year was we had a full year to see.
Yeah, if they don't add another weapon, Hilton's got a great floor too. You know what I mean? A great floor, and I think he's got a ceiling that's
I think the Colts are
well.
a team that's just going to keep getting better.
Exactly.
Well,
and Hilton showed his ceiling. He was a top 5 fantasy wide receiver last time Luck played a full season. Prior to last year when he was fully healthy, Hilton was top 5. So like I like Hilton a lot as someone who's going. You know what it is like drafts this year, and this is why I want to take a guy like Mixon in the first round because the second, third, fourth, fifth round are just littered with wide receiver value. Right?
Yes.
Like imagine
you can get some really good.
Like I can go Joe Mixon in round 1 as my RB1, and you're like, I don't know if I like that first round pick, but then you could still I can get like Juju, Adam Thielen, probably Robert Woods as my wide receiver 3 in my 2, 3, 4 rounds. Maybe grab like
Mari Cooper or
someone
like
OJ
that.
Howard. Yeah, exactly.
You could fill it in that way. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so much value in the middle rounds, and that seemed to be like the game plan this year for succeeding.
Stack those RBs.
Yep.
If you got
your running backs in the beginning,
you did it in a lot of
leagues.
leagues. You went like Melvin, and then you had Antonio Brown, Adam Thielen, and whoever you took in like the 4th, 5th, or whatever. But if you stack those middle rounds with the wide receivers there. They're safer than running backs. The middle round running backs
you know exactly what you're going to get. These running backs they're like flame to
Yeah,
they flame out. Gordon anal fucked me in the end of the year. Like it's
yeah.
But he was a study. He brought me to where I was.
Another popular running back that's going to get a lot of talk this summer is certainly going to be Sony Michel. He is an X up on our list.
Oh, yeah.
And we basically took any guy that was not ranked in one of our 25 and put a 30 there to average out the rankings. Sony Michel comes in at around pick number 28. Michel's a guy, I loved him last year, and people's arguments were like, yeah, well, he's in a Patriots backfield. It's like, whatever. He's a first-round pick. They're going to fucking use him, obviously. And you saw how they rode him down the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not involved in the passing game at all.
That's the only problem.
I know.
It's scary. And they're not like I'm hesitant to say they're like the elite offense where you could be like, yeah, what about LeGarrette Blount? But like they were also scoring 40 fucking points a game during that stretch, you know?
I just like him. Like I'm going way too far into this. I'm not even looking at the numbers so much. He's like a first round pick. I keep coming back to this point.
Yeah.
A first round pick for Bill Belichick taking a running back. You don't see that.
Yeah, he's gonna
like
use
he's getting his touches.
Yeah.
And when he was healthy, I think he was averaging like 15 fantasy points a game minimum. He's a touchdown
games
machine.
when he was fully healthy,
he's fine in the end zone.
Yep.
He's fine in the end zone.
I mean, he has 6 touchdowns in their 3
Look at the
playoff
playoff.
games.
Exactly, dude. I mean,
that's how they want to use him. You could tell. It's going to be.
He'll go like 18, 60 and like a touchdown or 2 every game. Yeah. That's how I feel.
It's solid. It is very, very, very solid.
For RB, what, like 12 on our list?
The way I look at the Patriots backfield is like there's 3 of them that are possible to draft. I think people actually low key like. People were excited about Rex Burkhead coming into this year. Obviously flamed out with injuries and stuff. End of the year, though, he had a game in the playoffs where he had 17 touches. Week 16, he had a 17-touch game.
He's a beast.
What's going to happen is
the problem, though.
What I think people need to do is you need to fade. If you're going to pick a Patriots running back, you fade James White. His ADP right now is like 45 to 50. No way.
That's ridiculous.
After 5 years, you know what you have. The reason his numbers were so inflated was because Michel and Burkhead was hurt. So if you're going to do it, pay up for Michel. Or wait till like round 13 and get Burkhead.
Yeah,
because
great value.
The thing I like about Burkhead is this: like he can play all 3 downs, right? They'll use him on the goal line. They'll use him as a receiving back. Okay. So if either of these guys gets hurt, Burkhead's value is huge. You know what I mean? Burkhead will fill in James White's role. If Michelle gets hurt, Burkhead will get 15 carries a game and be on the goal line.
He's so versatile. It's
right.
ridiculous.
So that's probably the
He's
reason.
a good stash later in the round. You keep him. Yeah.
That's probably why I won't draft Michelle. I don't know if I want to spend a third. I'd rather get like a Thielen. I'd rather get a Keenan Allen, who's on this list after that.
I will say, though, we're getting into the territory where everybody like goes into the draft. Oh, I'm staying away from the Patriots backfield. I'm not. I love Sony Michel. I do. And I love Rex Burkhead. At James White ADP, no.
I'm normally one of those people who stays away.
So am I. I am too. But I think now the way Brady plays and the way that offense is, I think that backfield is very, very appealing. Yeah. Very appealing.
Yeah, I like Michelle. He's another guy I'll probably own one or two places, but I'm not super high. Like there are some guys that I will target.
No, I'm not breaking the bank on him. I'm just
okay. So Sony Michel, and then the last guy up on our list is Keenan Allen. Pretty big drop off this year compared to where he was going last year.
Well, 2 years ago he was on.
He just didn't have the touchdowns.
He did the same thing again though this year that he did the last 2 years. He just the second half of the year was craziness.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
He does. That's what he does.
The targets are there every year.
He's a piece of shit.
Receptions are there. It's just
I thought you loved
touchdowns.
I do.
Okay,
but that's why I'm calling him a piece of
He's
shit.
like actually the white Adam Thielen. I feel like that's
he is. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
But, like, he's disappointing me so often. Thielen did it, too, but Thielen has a place in my heart. No matter what. No one can take that from
Keenan
me.
Allen, it's interesting. You have Mike Williams, who scored 10 touchdowns last year.
He was emerging towards the end.
You have Hunter Henry coming back fully healthy.
Melvin Gordon. You got Eckler out of the back.
You have a lot of targets. So I could see Keenan going like 112, like 100 catches, 1,200 yards. But, like, that touchdown number is probably
he's
going to
have, like, 4, 5. Yeah.
He finished 97 receptions.
His
1,196 yards.
His ceiling is
right there.
His ceiling is not the roof, so I'm not
right. So yeah, Keenan Allen is a guy who.
Sorry,
I don't know. He's an okay guy at the end of the third. He's more of like a safer play, which you don't hate, and I think that might depend on where you go earlier on in the draft. If you go risky, maybe you want to play it safe. Whatever. You know, we talked about how we might diversify. Like I'll take Sony somewhere, or Dalvin somewhere. Are there any guys that you are going to be going out of your way to make sure you target? I know you kind of said that with Dalvin Cook or whatever, but are there guys that you're going to try to grab in like all drafts?
Besides like your normal like top, you know.
Yeah, like don't be like Barkley, like obviously.
Yeah, I mean Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Well, I mean he didn't. How is he going to be on that? He didn't even make your top 25.
Because I think he's
of the guys that were talked about.
Oh, the guys that we're talking about. I thought you meant someone else.
Well, yeah, Cook is my guy. I'm very high on him. I'm going to bank on a healthy year and him being that featured guy, which it's going to suck. It's going to be my divorce from Adam Thielen, and watching him perform on another team is going to make me literally sick to my fucking stomach. Yeah. I was in 6 leagues last year. I had him in all of them. Except
Did you have him in all of them?
Except our NYC one.
Oh, okay.
But 5 of my 6 leagues I had Adam Thielen.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
You must have been like fucking 7-1 in every league to start off.
I made the playoffs in every single one of them, except that one. Except that one. I didn't make the playoffs in that one.
That's
so
funny. Yeah, I don't know.
But
if
Dalvin Cook's the guy I'm gonna be heavy involved in, and to be honest, I'm tough talking strategy. Like,
yeah, I don't want to tell you guys.
No, you have to get into it. I worried about that for like 2 years when I was doing it, and people.
I'm all in on a stud tight end this year. So that's obvious, but like I am making it a priority.
Yeah.
And where I'm drafting and my keeper, I think I could make it a pretty damn good bet on what I do.
Yeah.
Like I have kind of a layout plan of what I'm feeling, especially if I'm drafting 9 and keeping Chubb as a 12th pick. Mm-hmm. So you guys could probably figure out what I'm doing. So
I didn't really do the math in my head.
I already know.
That's okay.
I'm sure.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad.
I mean, by the time our draft comes up, I'll know your first 5.
You will literally know.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that because we have such good keeper options that let you play around with the rest of your picks.
Right, exactly. I'm getting an RB1 in the you could get a wide receiver. You know, it's we have good options. Who are you gonna target in the second round?
Fuck you.
Hey.
Kelce, top tight end.
Yeah, like
Kittle,
I said, I'm going for a top tight end.
Yeah.
I think Kittle will probably be my most owned guy only because you'll be able to get him in the third rather than Kelce in the second.
Right.
But Kelce's a guy that I might target like in the E-Town League because I have the 8th or something. Oh, I mean, you'll be before me, so you'll take Kelce first. So never mind.
Naturally.
But like if you're in my position, Kelce goes for your spot. I'm at like 12 or 13. You're not gonna take Kittle there.
You wouldn't have the option in our league, but I know what you're saying. Like, if
if
he was available,
right.
you're not.
No, because like Tyreek Hill or Julio is going to be on the board.
I would take Kelce. Like we literally
I would
have
take
Kelce
Kelce
14.
there.
Yeah, it's a 7-player difference. It's not, you're not taking him there.
Yeah.
Just because you want that stud tight end, you're not going to reach and get him there.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. When you could get probably get Ertz in the 4th if you want to go that way. Even though I'm not the biggest Ertz fan,
I don't think Ertz will last to the 4th.
You're probably
I think
this is going to be the year the tight end.
Well, Ertz will go early. Ertz will probably go in the 2nd because Kittle's already off the board.
Gone, right? For our league, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be like, fuck.
It's going to be tricky.
Fuck.
The Kittle thing throws a wrench, man.
I'm going to propose some rules to change. I really want to move that flex spot to a wide receiver / tight end. Or at least go premium so that like the tight ends who go like 5 for 36 can give you 8 points or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a good idea. I mean,
That's
we're an evolving league, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we'll bring up. But I think that wraps up the video for tonight.
Yeah. Is there any hot topics like in the
Sleepers
news you've seen that outside of football? You guys have anything? The Oscars are on Sunday.
Who cares?
Bradley Cooper and Gaga are doing their
song from
right?
Dude,
that movie they made.
They're awesome.
I didn't watch
Lady
that.
Gaga just divorced her fiance or broke up with her fiance.
For B. Coopies?
That's not what they said, but I mean, all signs pointing.
No, he's single.
No. Coop's not single.
Don't matter in
all
Hollywood.
signs pointing like being married is not a sign.
It doesn't matter in Hollywood.
No, it doesn't.
Hollywood's probably so fun.
Manny Machado signed with the Padres.
Machado signed with the Padres. I heard something that Harper could do that also.
Yeah, they're gonna go after Harper now.
What?
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's
Dude,
like nuts.
I've been to
Machado,
have you been to San Diego or no?
No.
I've been to that ballpark.
I hear it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a jungle in there.
It's beautiful. They have that wall in left field. Like this, it's really nice. That's like, I think our Zat and Goriello have done that, right? The tour in the
Nick
parks.
lives in the SC.
That's so cool.
Nick
Yeah,
lives in San Diego now.
People are like, oh, Yankees didn't get him. Well, fuck him. Why would the Yankees need him? Maybe I could just. I'm probably talking to myself right now, but
someone tweeted out that Manny Machado is going to be a 300-pound first baseman in
100%. No, dude, like literally, he went there.
I don't agree with the 10-year deal.
No,
terrible idea.
This is a fucking horrible idea, but that's the only way you're going to get him.
You're right, but then again,
it's like drafting Kittle at 12.
It's not.
If you want him, you got to get him.
Right.
That's it.
It's not that crazy though because he's 26. He's not 30.
Yeah,
so by the time that contract's over,
but
he's 36. When the Yankees signed A-Rod to a 10-year deal, he was 40. He would have been 43 at the end of it. Like, there's a big difference. But Machado, to me, is a dog. Like, he's not going to work hard. He doesn't care. He's literally there because they're the only team that gave him $300 million.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
the only
I can't
reason.
blame him.
San Diego, fuck yeah.
He's a pig. I wouldn't fucking want him. He's a pig.
We'll let San Diego's front office know. So that wraps it up. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. We got a Fade the Public episode coming out weekly, every single Thursday for the rest of our disgusting, probably short lives.
I will never die. Which means I'll be doing this forever.
You're literally going to die so much earlier than us, too.
100%.
100%.
But you know what?
That's it.
I died as a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time World Series champion.
It looks like a honey, like a... well, I don't know what that looks like.
This is a thumbs up.
That looks like a disformed dick.
Do you have a lint roller now that you have a dog? Does your dog shed?
No, he doesn't, but I have a lint roller.
That looks like an upside-down lint roller. That's
That's
moving really fucking fast or something. So no, it doesn't look like a fucking.
Speaking of which, we might be
Hit
bringing
that down below.
We might be debuting the big dog soon.
Oh yeah, we've got some mascots coming.
Benny
to the
the big dog.
Benny the big dog, man.
I gotta end this bullshit.